Engineering, the next major step forward in multi-crew gameplay, built on top of the in-development resource networking system, itself a harbinger of fire and a new reality for all life aboard spacecraft. It's been the subject of CitizenCon presentations, Q&As on Star Citizen Live, explorations on Inside Star Citizen, and fervent discussion by many of the content creators in our community. And on this final episode of
Jared is clean shaven. It took me a while. Jared always rocking a new look. Jared has this thing where he's always rocking a new look every 3 to 4 months. That's completely respectable. You got to respect a man who's changing the look, changing the fashion.
ISC before hiatus, and we turn all of our attentions towards CitizenCon, we invited Torsten, Bastian, and Guillermo to update us once again on the current intention and implementation of engineering, and what you can expect when the first iteration makes its way into the persistent
information
universe.
From us, Guillermo.
The resource network enables us to actually give you the gameplay that you were always looking for, which is having meaningful multi-crew gameplay, which means that it really makes sense to have multiple people running around on your ship, and that wouldn't be possible without the resource network.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. You've grabbed my attention.
So we say the resource network is a system that allows all the items and components that are part of the ship to talk to each other.
Every ground vehicle, every base, everything that runs in Star Citizen with resources.
Fundamentally, resource network is a replacement for the pipe system we had in the past that you may have heard about.
We chose a similar system, basically doing most of what we are doing right now with the resource network, but in a way that was not as scalable as what we intend to do.
Landing complete.
So right now we just have one type of hydrogen fuel, but if we want to extend that in the future to having like multiple types that have some specific benefits on the thrusters, it's very easy now to add that resource. It's just a data setup.
Okay.
So resource network is the underlying technology for the...
I will say it is so rough with these accents. Limitless, you are so dead on about that. The comment is hitting like 110%. Limitless says subtitles ? And dude, the accents are really rough. I feel it's like I'm understanding what they're saying, but I'm like lagging about a second or two behind as I'm translating in my head. So if everybody is having the same issue right now, my condolences. It's okay. We're going to get through this together. We're going to get through it together. And Limitless, God bless you. Limitless, limitless. I see you, Limitless. I see you, bro.
System to work, and engineering is the gameplay we intend to have on top of this technology so that players may experience it.
Your ship flies because, the thrusters get fuel, the power plants output power that the weapons and the sails and also the thrusters use. Engineering is all about both maximizing the use you get out of the resource network and also getting the resource network itself going so that you're not dead in the water.
It's all things that players will be able to interact with. They will have to dedicate roles in their ships so that crew members are assigned to fixing those issues, and they can encounter more dynamic situations that will not happen.
Also, I can tell you, you are going to want a human player for this position. If you have a larger ship, and you think that like some NPC AI that you're going to eventually hire down the road is going to actually save your ship in time, you are definitely dead wrong. If you're flying with like an eventual NPC AI crew and your head engineer is NPC AI, you are losing the game. Like, do not do that. First off, if you have larger ships in Star Citizen, just realize that the only way you're going to win the game is if you have a human crew. I think NPC AI are not going to do anything special unless maybe turrets. But when you're talking about crew inside a ship, trying to react to fucking shit as it's happening, you need to be on voice. You need to be with your entire squad, your team on the ship, and you guys need to be communicating as to what's going on. Otherwise, I would say just go with the solo ship, go with a single seater or double seater, small fighter, something of that nature. Be a trader with a smaller trade ship. If you're going large, then you better come correct.
In the previous systems.
The goal right now is to have all the components on the ship being physicalized. That means that the things that will take damage will be the components. That then means that those components are the reasons
I love the setup.
the
I love the way
failure
it looks.
of your ship.
We have the power plants, which generate the energy that your ship consumes. You have the shield generators, which take in some of that energy to convert it to shield power. You have a radar system that allows you to target the signatures of ships around you. You have coolers that generate a coolant resource.
I didn't catch that last part. I don't know what he said on the last part. What's up,
It
Sanders?
is all the weapons that you have. It's
Feeling better
the
now that I'm
quantum
here, Sanders.
drive. But there are also new components that will be added to the mix, and that is the relay with its fuses. Then there's the life support generator. The biggest thing we are aiming for is switching from your health pool of the bespoke ship to just moving that completely over to the physicalized component. So damaging the component is damaging your ship. I think this is the part where the biggest change for the players happen, because there the gameplay of repair comes in, and then you can revitalize your ship. So you can actually use your formerly dead in the water ship after.
Ooh, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be real rough when this rolls out. I'm going to tell you why it's going to be real rough, because right now in the alpha state, there's tons of glitches already. It's like putting a fake glitch on top of an actual real glitch. So you're going to see an angry mob, number one. When engineering gets released, right, you're going to see an angry mob right off the bat. And I think you know that because people are already upset at the state and lack of stability of Star Citizen and the glitches that they get in the game. Then you put on these fake glitches, which are cool. I mean, these are supposed to be cool designs for later in the game when it's a little bit more polished, finished, right? But like they need to put this in. So for the people that start bitching and hollering and the naysayers come in and start going, just realize like this needs to be inserted now. They need to put the bedrock in, right? They need to put the bedrock of engineering in. It's going to be all types of messy. The ship's going to stop operating because of engineering reasons. And then people are going to think that the game is effed up. You understand what I'm trying to get across? Is anybody getting with me right now? So I will say this. If you start seeing the big clicky headlines, which you probably will, when engineering's rolling out and people are having like issues, you're going to see like all the content creators gravitate to it and use it as clickbait. Like, oh, engineering, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, blah, blah. It's going to take time. Like the way that these new game elements get introduced, they're going to be messy. It is where we are at in the development. This is the way it is supposed to be right now. So don't fall for the bullshit. Don't fall for the naysayers telling you how bad engineering is and blah, 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 blah. It has to be put in. I'm already, you know, the crazy part is I've been doing this so long. I'm almost predictive when it comes to like what content creators are going to focus on. And I think that's a really cool insight to have. And to voice that out to you guys, because I don't really hear other people talk about like, oh, here's the deluge of bullshit that my eyes have to fucking run across that I want to skip. They should be showing you my content. The YouTube algorithm should be showing you what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is what you're feeling. It's the shit that you're watching on TV when you've got your goddamn Fire Stick and you're on YouTube and you're scrolling through fucking videos and they're all like, oh, engineering, oh, blah, 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 it's going to be horrible. Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I even seeing this shit? I don't know. Probably you got to check yourself. You got to ask yourself, why am I seeing this on my YouTube feed? You're clicking into the drama. You're clicking into the fuck. You're clicking into the fuck. You're getting fucked in your own face. You literally are picking the clickbaitiest drama to FYF, to fuck your own face. So like you are guys, listen, you guys stop clicking it. I know most of my audience, they don't bother clicking it anymore because you hear so much naysayer shit that it gets so tiring. for the people that are in this for the actual being fans that want this to succeed, that don't care if they're wrong, right? Don't care if after all this fighting and all this, like, hey, we're fans, that at the end of this doesn't work, right? Most of us can move on with life. Like, we're adults. We'll be sad. We'll be sad. But we're essentially hardcore fans. We are the hardcore motherfuckers in the building. We want the game to come out, and listen, if we're wrong, we're wrong, but I'd rather fight and I'd rather dream and be wrong than be a naysayer that's been negative through the entire fucking project, and then he's right. I would rather be the wrong guy. I would rather be fighting for a dream for a game that I want, being a fan, and end up being wrong. I would rather be that guy than the fucking naysayer that's in it for clicks, money, all the wrong reasons. And just let it sink in. Let that sink in, because when you see the shit on your feed, you're clicking it. You're supporting it. So be careful. Like, I'm just going to say this. The more you endorse that kind of naysayer vibe, the more you're basically fucking Star Citizen in the ass. And Star Citizen isn't enjoying the anal penetration. It's just not Star Citizen's thing. Okay? That's just the way Star Citizen swings. That's okay. Star Citizen can, whatever Star Citizen wants. But what you are doing is you're doing a very bad thing, because you're endorsing like this naysay. Listen to the naysay. Just the word naysayer. like a what was that motherfucker from Lord of the Rings? Grima, like a worm tongue, like a naysayer. Theoden. Like you're basically being fucking Grima. You're being worm tongue, and Star Citizen is Theoden. Star Citizen is Theoden. Okay. Damn, I'm dropping some fucking knowledge tonight. I'm using a Lord of the Rings reference, man.
I'm in a fountain.
God damn. I'm on fire tonight.
After exchanging or repairing the components. So we mentioned one of the new components, which is the life support generator. So let's talk about life support.
The life support does all the tasks necessary to maintain the life support inside a ship.
So it's the temperature, it's the atmosphere composition, it's the pressure inside the room. Your main responsibility is making sure that there's always enough life support resource produced to maintain a healthy atmosphere in the ship. So making sure that all the CO2 that you breathe out is actually converted into O2 again.
What's up, Devious?
Or if you vented a room, that the room is filled again. If your room is getting too hot, it's cooled down again. So it's all about managing this resource inside the rooms. And as already mentioned in the previous episodes, it's life support management is also a good way to counter fire.
There's so many elements that are tying in that make this game so different than every other title out there. It is so crazy to me that people aren't more positive about a project that's offering so much. Like the ability to do these things, even in a state where it's unstable AF. Here's the thing. Yes. Look at these elements that are being put into this title. Stand back and look at the macro. Stand back and look at the macro of this. Look at these pieces that are going to interlay into your game experience, man. What other title? What other title, man? It's beyond me. There's no other title that's going to offer you all these types of experiences. And the biggest gripe is, well, it's really unstable. Well, yes, it is. because if you understood where they were at and what they're trying to do with dynamic server meshing, the most important thing to make or break this project, I'm very aware of it. If they get the dynamic server meshing the way we need it, and it can start showing signs of stability, even like a slight flick in the right direction towards being more stable, then what are the naysayers going to say? Then what are they going to say? It's always something new, man. There's always something new.
Another aspect the players have to counter or react to is misfires on components.
Misfires are something that is already in the game in some form. Thruster charges, seal generator failure, stuff like that. We're just expanding it a bit, and pretty much the idea is that, items that are damaged, that are too hot, or that, for example, are very old and degraded, will start misfiring. In some cases, that will be that it will take some extra damage. In other cases, it will be that they will stop working for a while. Other times, they will work indefinitely until an engineer comes by and manages to do some repairs. And some of the worst cases would be starting a fire, or in the case of, for example, power plants, engaging in a critical reactor failure and taking the ship with them.
There was a
This is fantastic. This is fucking cool as shit right now. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of bitching when engineering rolls out and ships start glitching and people don't understand that it's actually related to engineering. You're going to see people get upset. So it's a very, what they're going to do is they're kind of putting a little bit of fuel on the fire by doing this. And you, like, if you are a fan of Star Citizen, realize that when it rolls out, it's going to be a little rough. Maybe it won't work as intended. And people are going to not understand why all of a sudden power is going out or their ship's not working. And they're going to say that the game is the problem. And they don't understand that it's actually a feature we want as fans, as hardcore motherfucking fans. And I say to the people that decide that they're going to end up bitching about this shit, good riddance, because I call that the fucking IQ filter. I like a game where there's people who's smart. So goodbye, dumbasses. Like if there are dumbasses that are like, oh, this fucking ship's not working because of the game, I'm going to say, guess what? The game has a feature called engineering that needs to be released, that needs to be put into the game, that needs to be tested. There's going to be problems. It's going to be messy. This is where we're at. If you can't understand that, peace out. That's called the IQ filter. That makes my game a more pleasurable experience because I'm playing with smarter people that understand what the fuck's going on around them. Okay? Backspace says, I'm gonna say, can we have our awesome flight model back? But I suppose that's old news already. I was watching Backspace, the drama unfolding with Avenger 1 and what was that dude's name? Psycho something or other. I like both of them. Honestly, I like both of them. I'm not like opposed to either or. Buzzcut Psycho, I think is the other dude's name. I saw this back and forth. I listened to all their points, and what I gotta say to you about this is about the flight model, and then we'll get back to this, everybody. My official comments, my statement as to the flight model is this. If you think that this current flight model is going to be the flight model, no. And I say this out of experience of being in this project for 10 plus years. I've seen the flight model change how many times, Limitless? I know you and I are old school, dude. I know Wooksy's old school. I know a lot of you, Fingers is old school. 6? Yeah, I mean like 6 times. And I'm not sure how long you've been with the project, Backspace. You might be a veteran too, so you might even know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? This flight model will probably change. Like I'll put the money down, and I will say the flight model will change again. And I would win that bet. I feel like I would win that bet. I feel like the probability is in my favor. I feel like I'd be the house. 3 years? Okay, Backspace. Well, you've seen a flight change or two then. Backspace has been in here 3 years, so he's seen a flight change. And, you know, it's going to happen. So don't be worried, Backspace. Like, what I guess I got to say to everybody that's upset with the flight model is this. Everybody's always going to be upset with the flight model. I've been upset with the flight model. Limitless has been upset with the flight model. Wooksy's been upset with the flight model. We've all had stages where we've all been upset with the flight model. I'm still upset with the flight model. Is anybody truly happy with the flight model? I don't think so. So what I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to kind of just nip it in the bud here and be a rational fucking adult. and tell you that this whole shit where, you know, you get Buzzcut arguing one point and Avenger 1 arguing another point, to me, that's gobbledygook, man. That's just bullshit drama. What I know is this. What I can tell you is facts, that the flight model will always change, that most of the times you probably aren't going to like it, and that eventually it'll get to the point where more people will like it. It will be detailed like we want. It will have the feels like we want, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But the changes will happen. The flight model changes will always fucking happen. It is part of the cycle. So it's a moot point. When I see Avenger 1 and I see Buzzcut Psycho and I see him fucking arguing about this, to me, it's pointless. You understand what I'm saying? I guess I'm coming at this again from the macro. Like when I look at a project by any game developer, you know, and I've interviewed game developers here. I mean, like, there's plenty of titles and interviews on the channel. When I'm looking at a project, I look at it from like the back of the theater, right? I'm checking everything out, and I'm taking it all in, right? I mean, some people, they get right up to the fucking screen. Some people just they go right up in it. And what I guess I'm trying to say, Backspace, is this, dude. I understand that you and many others are upset with the flight model currently with master modes. I get it. There's a lot of things about master modes I don't like, but I've been through like 4 or 5 other types of master mode experiences. So I would just suggest this, not to go crazy over it, because it will change, Backspace, to take a few seats back in the aisle. Sit back here with me, man. Right? Just chill out with me and chill out with the others. And don't worry about it, because everything right now is just super dramatic. There's plenty of time. The crazy part about this is a lot of people say that and they get upset. They're like, oh, plenty of time. Fuck, this is taking way too long. I can't even wait any longer. Oh, but if you really think about what it is that they're trying to do, and you take a breath, you say to yourself, you're like, well, yeah, I kind of want all this in the game. I want all these experiences. Every experience that I can experience, and this is the only game that's going to do it. I'm going to take a couple timeouts. I'm going to scoot back a couple rows shot with DG and everybody else. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say, you know, to the entire Star Citizen fan base, is the way you're going to get through this is if you take a couple seats back and you don't push your face right up against the screen. You know, don't shove your nose right up against the screen. And a lot of content creators and a lot of fans and a lot of players, that's what they do. And drinking. Wooksy, yes, and Wooksy's right, and a lot of drinking.
Chance that if the power plant reaches 0 health, it will run into a critical failure, and that critical failure then will cause the entire ship to explode. It will give the player the time frame to react to that. So either by removing the component and throwing it out of the door and preventing your ship to explode, or even countering it by repairing the component and bringing it up to life again. For the initial release, we have a limited amount of misfires, but we are preparing the system, or we did prepare the system to scale well for the future, so we can introduce multiple misfires, and that leads us to damage penetration.
So damage penetration is a simplified version of what we'll be getting eventually with a more physicalized system, but essentially what it means is that now certain types of weapons can penetrate through the hull of a ship. This is a function of the weapon itself, its penetration values, and also the armor of the ship, which can be depleted over time.
So if you use ballistics, you have a higher penetration, which allows you to cut through the armor more deeply and touch the components inside the ship directly. As opposed to this, you can...
Listen, again, Backspace, I absolutely love you, and I'm sorry if you feel like I'm dunking on you, because I'm not, bro. And I don't think a lot of people are meaning anything mean. If you feel it, don't worry about it, Backspace. Like, don't worry about it at all. Just, it's cool if you don't want to play the game, bro. Like, listen, everybody has their phases where they don't. But like, I will say this: looking at this, like, I'm like, what other? Just looking at this. Like, you know, like, it just does something right for me, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want, you know. So if you're not playing it, I would just say take a step back and enjoy the view for a little bit, and don't worry about it if you're not playing. It doesn't matter if you're not playing right now, you know? It doesn't. It really doesn't. In the big scheme of everything, it doesn't, man. Everybody tries to draw you in. Like everybody, all these creators, they try to draw you in to be like, oh, this is the only thing that matters in life. Like, look, just step back, man. Step back and enjoy. Like, if this game looks good to you and you're like, hey, then dude, just chill out. And if you're playing the game and you aren't enjoying it because of stability reasons or server reasons or the thousands of reasons, trust me, in Star Citizen that are upsetting you, don't play it, dude. Just play another title. But I appreciate that you're here chilling out, dude. Like, I appreciate you for just chilling out. Like, Backspace isn't even playing right now. Super pissed off about master modes. I hope you listen to my talk about, you know, how the flight model will change again. And I hope that calmed you down a little bit, dude. And don't worry about it. Don't worry if you're not playing it. Don't get sucked into, like, people being like, don't get sucked into the drama, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's no reason to. There's no reason to.
You also have energy weapons, which will be more effective at melting down the armor.
The goal here is that you first need to bring down the armor health value to get to the fullest potential of your penetrating weapons. Then you can penetrate the ship and actually damage the components that sit inside the ship and not on the outside of the hull.
Obviously, there's degrees to this. Larger ballistic weapons may have enough penetration against smaller ships that it will be able to penetrate directly, but it's, you know, it's all of a game of choices, and it's going to depend on your ships and your weapons.
So with
the secret also to winning Star Citizen is deep penetration. Okay, remember that. Deep, so deep, put your ass to sleep. Penetration, okay. And I've never been able to do that. So it's a sad thing. Yeah, so there's that. I wish. I always wanted to. Oh man, that'd be amazing if I could have something that would hurt somebody. Sorry. What's up? Let's go. Way to interrupt me, man. That's a perfect time to interrupt me. I was going into something really creepy and perverted there. Thank you. Let's go. I appreciate you, dude. 15 months like a boss. Thank you.
With damage penetration and misfires happening, that brings us to repair.
I like that.
As your fight progresses and components take damage in your ship, it becomes the duty of some of your crew members to first investigate what are the issues caused by battle damage and go there to physically replace the parts in your ship.
So you have your multi-tool, so you have the salvage and repair, and the repair part of it also affects now ship components, precisely like what you see in the Arena Commander mode. You will be able to repair items that were fully destroyed. You will not be able to repair the item to its fullest, so you cannot repair an item that got fully destroyed to 100% health again. So to repair your ship components to the fullest, you actually have to bring them to the shop again and do the station repair. Or if you did think ahead and brought spare items with you, you can simply exchange them to pristine new ones. But with the caveat, it only works, just as a reminder, for size 1 and size 2 components. Size 3 and above cannot be exchanged.
It's great that engineering adds this level of modularity. I like this direction that the art team's going. I like this direction that the dev team's going, where they're basically making everything more modular, not just with how all these pieces are fitting, you know, into various size ships, but also I think eventually will bleed into like more modular ships. I haven't seen it as much as I had predicted it last year. Last year I said, oh, you watch out, most every ship's going to be modular, and no, I was wrong on that prediction. But I think you're going to start seeing something ramp into that. That's just I'm speculating right now, but I think more and more ships will have more modular designs as you're starting to see engineering make the interiors of ships more modular. You will then see the ships themselves that will like kind of like have this up into the ship evolution where more ships that they're going to introduce are going to be modular. I think they'll make more revenue that way as well. Just wondering when that's going to happen, because I thought that would have happened already.
For size 1 and size 2 components, size 3 and above cannot be exchanged using the tractor beam detach and attach mode. So now that we looked at what your responsibilities are in the physical space running around in your ship, let's take a look at what you do on the virtual part, which is power management and analysis of your ship on the engineering screen.
Here we go.
So the first thing that you will see is the 3D view of your ship that highlights the location of all the ship components. And
that looks much smoother than what we have currently with the utility feature in the Mobi-Glass, or when we're the ship utility feature. So I just hope the way that the UI is designed here, that things are much smoother in terms of how you're rotating and revolving the ship itself compared to what we already have, which is a giant fucking catastrophe on rent terminals and your ship utility loadout screen. Flipping ships and doing anything involving your ship is just a fucking nightmare. It's gotten a little bit better. I hope that we continually see like an upgrade to smooth things out on a 3-dimensional level. Really do.
And how they are actually connected, where the relay positions are, what the status of the relays are. You will see the holograms of each component.
As you can see, they have different colors. What they are representing is the overall state of the item. So an item that is very damaged, or it's on fire, or it's not getting enough power will be in a critical state. Items that are less damaged, are receiving only partial resources, or are going through a misfire, may have moderate colors. And items that are otherwise fine will have the functional or blue colors.
The biggest change that happened to the engineering UI screen is basically the power management part of it. We moved away completely from slider control for...
First off, backspace. There are people that agree with you in here. Like, you understand, like, I think Backspace is really trying to represent a point of view that he thinks the show might not have. I don't think that I view the things the same way as Backspace, but I think that the voice should be at least listened to, even if you don't agree with it. But, you know, in terms of what Backspace is saying in the chat right now, he said, I'm tired of all the Cloud Imperium glazing and blue-eyed support when my gaming friends list died. It's why we keep making noise. Yes, it's why we should keep making noise. You're absolutely right. Yes, these things should be ironed out and fixed. Yes, there should be a voice for that. Yes, I agree with you, Backspace. So don't think because Betty says cry me a river, Backspace, say something new on the topic, that everybody's in this stream or in this community is thinking the same thing, because there's a pretty good split on the issue. But, like, again, what I'm trying to say, Backspace, is, like, I don't agree with you on this being fluff. Like, so, like, you know, where you're getting mad, where you think your voice is not being listened to, but it is. I'm listening, and so are others, and there's plenty of people that would agree with you, right? Like, on the flip side of things, I don't agree with you that you think this is fluff. I think this is a lot more than fluff. So, like, I think maybe you think this is not going to be a big deal, but, like, engineering will play a huge role on larger ships. Huge role on larger ships. Right now, it might not seem like it, but, dude, like, engineering is going to be much more than fluff. It'll be like the survival of your ship. It'll be the survival of your crew. If you don't man it right, or you don't have the right person there, and you just have AI there, you're going to die. Like I said at the very beginning of this, you're going to need a human fucking crew. And engineering is going to make it so that you have to have a human crew. And that's a big fucking deal. And that is not fluff to me. You understand what I'm saying, Backspaced? So what I will say is this. I agree with you about the friends list. I disagree with you about this being fluff. So see what I'm saying, dude? Don't worry, man. But, like, in the grand scheme of thing, just don't just take a breath, man. I love you, man. Backspace says engineering will be a thing for sure. I'm saying it's going to be quite a while before we see it. Absolutely, it will be. And it's going to be a while before it makes sense. Absolutely. Like I said, when it comes out, it's going to be messy and everybody's going to be like, this game's broken, because there'll be more glitches. There'll be fake glitches on top of the actual real glitches, right? There'll be designed glitches as opposed to actual glitches or flaws in the actual game itself, right? It's like putting a layer of fake glitches on top of real glitches, right? So I get that. And I did say that. I did mention that. I feel like backspace. Sorry, like I feel like I know I said these things before. I feel like I said these things before.
Every individual item. There is indicator now for fuel. This is not relevant for the initial release, but it will be relevant for the future. Next to it, you see the power plant. The power plant segments gives you an idea of how many power segments you can distribute to the ship items.
And on the right of each of the power bars, you can generally see the temperature bar. If it goes into overheating, the item will stop both consuming or producing, and it will be completely inoperable until it cools down again. So that means that assigning power to your coolers in advance is probably a good idea if you are going into a fight.
All the items on your ship generate heat, so this is where you can see the amount.
This is really awesome, but the chat is just taking my attention away towards them because it seems a little bit rough in the chat right now. So first off, everybody take a breath. Everybody take a breath. It's okay. First off, to the people that are having these disagreements, like I would say to everybody watching, whether you're live or you're on YouTube, there's only one or two camps, okay? There's those that want the game to become a reality, and there's those that don't want it to become or that don't want that to become a reality. I mean, those are the two sides. So like when you guys are like arguing little stuff, right? I think you guys are all on the same side of wanting this game to become a reality. And I don't think anybody ever voices that out. I don't think content creators have voiced that out because they want you to be polarized. They want you to fight. The more that you fight with one another, the more they get paid. You guys like, hello. I know I've said these things. Like, do you guys not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Like, hello, Pepe. Am I speaking right now? Am I in some dream state where people aren't just, they're not listening to me? Is that what it is, Pepe? You're an asshole, Pepe. All right, I'm not even going to tell you what Pepe said. God damn you, Pepe. Pepe. Oh, why don't I? Never mind.
Amount of heat that each item has accumulated, and you can see the amount of coolant that you are producing and whether or not you are also running a deficit. So what you want to do is put as much power as you can into the coolers until your items do not overheat, but do not assign more resources than necessary because you are running a limited pool of resources.
The same applies to the life support generators. So you have to make sure that you produce enough life support resource that the demand is fulfilled in your ship. If your demand isn't fulfilled, it will cause some failures.
Oh, life support failures. What did we find out was the meta way to approach this? Wear a helmet at all times. You are welcome. I'm here for your safety. I am literally here for your safety.
I'm in a fountain.
So notifications panel, here the main warnings about the state of the ship will be displayed. If an item is damaged, doesn't get enough power, or is misfiring, it will create a warning. You will be able to see it as a notification. Take a look at it, go to the item, or just remove it.
So you have an option that allows you to basically log the controls so that you or the pilot, which has access to the MFD, which shares some of the power management functionality, do not conflict with your controls. So by locking this, you are able to override the MFD settings to only have it being authoritative from the engineering station.
You are able to take the power assignment you have at a given time and save it locally on your computer, meaning that when you fly again with the ship, or even if it's not your ship but somebody else's ship, you can quickly apply your presets. This is very useful in the middle of combat. And you can quickly switch to a combat preset where you will give, for example, more power to shields, weapons, and thrusters. Or at the same time, you may want to have some nap mode preset where you reduce the power to everything and just put it on the bare minimum so there's no degradation or misfires related to power.
This is where AI comes in handy. Jared, this is where you should utilize AI, and you could actually, have every employee be digitized, right? And then we could put like actual English. Like it is so thick. The accent is so thick. I am trying my hardest. I feel like I do now need a translator for this. Uh-oh, Bodie just knocked something down. Bodie! You bad cat. Bodie just knocked something down.
Power use.
So you can set a preset on your ship and then jump on somebody else's ship and load it up?
Indeed. Your presets are stored locally, so as long as you have access to the screen and you're using the same ship, you can apply a preset. Obviously, if the components have changed or the ship has a different loadout, the preset might not apply perfectly and you might need to adjust it, but it gives you a quick baseline on how your power is assigned.
Yeah, I should have done that from the very beginning. That is such a great idea. Why did I not put on the caption? Damn it. Damn it, Fingers. Where were you like an hour ago? What needed you? Fingers, 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 fingers. I feel like it's my Dungeons and Dragons stream with the with the captions, man.
We hope that with these changes, players will have more varied opportunities to experience.
First off, Fingers, God bless you. I mean, we're almost done, but we did it right towards the end. Fingers said, I'm sorry, I was making fish sticks.
The game. We'll encounter more situations where it feels relevant and enjoyable to have multi-crew gameplay in the ships, so that you do not think it's just about filling in the battle positions, like the turrets and the pilot seats, but it's more involved gameplay to actually manage your ships and try to fix the ongoing situations that occur within them. And we also hope that this makes larger vehicles, which have more interior space, both more troublesome but also more enjoyable to play with.
We are still working hard to get it done for all of you. There are ships that already have the functionality. There are still ships that we are working on. But overall, we are super excited to finally get it into the PU. So the Arena Command Experimental Mode was already fun to observe what you can do with the entire system. And now with having the feedback from that, adjusting the gameplay a little from the feedback that we received from you, I am really looking forward to see what you all will be doing with it.
I just feel like the majority of people are going to voice out against things that are feeling like it's a game error versus it actually being an engineering design feature. So it should be interesting, man. It's going to be messy. I will say this could be almost as big as master modes,
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that there's a sweet new interface for dedicated engineering terminals aboard spacecraft. That the first implementation of armor and damage penetration means that the ways that you kill and keep your spaceships alive will fundamentally change.
Cool.
And that when this arrives in the PU, life aboard spaceships will never be the same again. Now, that's it for this season of Inside Star Citizen, while everybody here turns their focus towards the upcoming CitizenCon.
Oh man, I'm so excited. These people who say they aren't excited are crazy. I'm absolutely excited to be with you. I cannot wait. Dude, this is gonna be... Dudes, I turned down going out with some friends that weekend. They were upset with me. I told them, nope. I'm nerding it out. I'm going super sci-fi geek mode that weekend, and I got a game called Star Citizen. I got to hang out with some of my friends, and I'm sorry. And then they were like, dude, aren't we your friends? And I was like, not on those 2 days, motherfuckers. Yeah, it's great. You guys trumped my own real life friends. So give yourself a round of applause for that. You guys are better friends than my actual real life friends. You are more real than my real life friends. Do you understand that? You are my best friends. Who were those people in real life that I called my friends? I don't even remember them anymore.
Where we'll be showcasing the future of Star Citizen beyond Alpha 4.0. Yes, it's a show you're not going to want to miss. So from the small team that makes every ISE, thank you so much for letting us stretch our proverbial wings this year. Thank you for continuing to let us share the people and process of game development with you.
Bro. The
and we'll
community,
see you all
Retro.
back here after the big show. Wow, I can't believe we got to.
Oh. Uh-oh. So awesome. The Doctor Who reference, the Jim Carrey reference. I do love this. Was a good season. And that wraps up. That wraps up yet another season. And we have been doing this since the very beginning. And thank you for being with us here. Don't worry, we're still streaming every Thursday night at 7. We will have Star Citizen picks, so don't worry. In the off time, we're still going to be streaming Star Citizen Thursday night at 7. We're going to be watching, as we normally do, what our fans pick here, and talk as like we talked on the Inside Star Citizen review. That's what we do here on DG360. We have a good time. Copyright strikes won't stop me. People and their evil YouTube algorithms won't stop me. I will always be here because I like to do this, because I have fun with you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And for those who are live here, we're going after dark mode. We're going after dark.